I went from a $10 per hour job and moved on to a $60,000 salary. I did this by getting over my anxiety and building my confidence. And in this video, I want to show you exactly how I did that. And whether you had any degree or even no degree at all, stick around because I believe my advice can greatly help you. So in my last video, I talked about how I went from making no money to all of a sudden making some money and how big of a difference that made in my life. I felt more confident, I felt a little more independent, and I was able to fend for myself, buying my own dinners, meals, and going out with friends. But after some time, I realized increasingly how important it is to actually have a higher paying salary, because instead of just being able to pay for meals and vacations, I'm able to actually move out and be on my own, generate savings, and live the big boy life. But getting that high paying job would not have ever happened if it wasn't for a fateful trip to Las Vegas with my friends. I was at this $10 to $11 per hour job, just cruising through life. Things felt good since I was able to pay for certain things. But I went out to a Vegas trip with some friends who were actually making a $60,000 salary. And while we were in the room, they started talking about where they were putting their money. Some of them were putting like $1,000 or at least a few hundred a month into savings and investments for their retirement. Some of them were talking about how they're saving up money to buy a house and just taking care of big boy stuff. And that's when it hit me. I went, oh shit, it's great that I'm making 10 to 11 an hour, but then one, I can't generate any savings with it. And two, I'm not able to have the big boy stuff, such as buying a home or saving up for retirement. And so it got me really freaked out a little bit. And it encouraged me to move out of my parents' place. So I'd say the first step is to develop that strong desire to actually make that higher paying job. And you do that by surrounding yourself with friends or people who are making those higher salaries. Because once you just spend more time with those friends or make friends who are making those higher salaries, it then pushes you to believe that's the norm to go after. So then after that revelation, I decided it was time to take action. And that's when I had to make a decision. You see, what was holding me back was that I was holding on to a dream at the time. The reason I didn't want a job or only wanted to work part-time was that I wanted to make it as a filmmaker and make big bucks as a videographer. But truthfully, looking over my past couple years, it was not going to happen unless I took really huge action on it or I took huge risks. And so I chose to opt for a higher paying job, knowing that having that would have me feel, one, more independent, and two, bring me to a higher level of happiness. And with those two combined, the independence and happiness, I'd have more strength and ability to go after videography or coaching, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. Now, what I decided to go for to generate this higher paying job was my second bachelor's degree in engineering. And note, if you don't want to go back to school, or if that is not an option, that is not the path you have to take. In fact, I kind of do not recommend it unless you really want to. There are plenty of other options out there, such as UI or UX design, computer programming, digital marketing, and so many other career paths that don't require any degree at all. For fields such as digital marketing or UI UX design, all that you really need is some kind of certificate, some kind of training that's very focused and will help give you the skills you need to get good at those jobs and gain some experience before you land that job. I don't care what the job requirements say. I don't care if it asks for a bachelor's degree or anything fancy like that. Employers are caring less and less about the degree that you have. And it's increasingly more about what skills you have to actually help the company out. Think about it. At the end of the day, do the companies really care if you have a degree or not? If you have the skill sets or if you work for them, it will make them lots of money in the end. All that matters is that you have the skills to bring value to your employer, and that's all they're looking for. So then I went through the school route, and during my second to last year there, I looked ahead to make sure that I would do what's required to actually land that job. And this is a mistake many people make. They often go, oh, I'll wait until I finish that coding boot camp, or I'll wait until I finish that digital marketing course to then look for a job. But then by then it might be a little bit too late, because at that point you are no longer in school, but then you do not have a job lined up yet. And so you are classified as unemployed. Yet when you look for a job while you're in school, it looks so much sexier because one, you aren't classified as unemployed, and two, it shows that you are ambitious about what you want. In my case, during my second to last year, I was actively putting out resumes to land a part-time job or internship before I graduated school. Why? Well, because one, I'll get paid to be in that field, and two, I knew that graduating right out of college, I would have a job lined up. I definitely suggest you to do the same, although I did not end up taking the full-time job at my first internship because the pay was a little low. I did have experience under my belt to go after the job that I wanted, which ended up landing me my $60,000 job. Know that at the end of the day, it comes down to your belief and your confidence in yourself that will help you land that higher paying job more than anything. I have a couple more tips left, including how to deal with finding a job when you did graduate and you've been unemployed for a few months. But before I get to that, there's just one thing I want to mention. If this video has been very helpful to you, please hit that like button so that the YouTube algorithm can do its magic and recommend this video to more people in your situation. Actually, there's two things I want to mention. And the second one is I am starting a group program in September, specifically geared for people who are making $10 to $20 an hour and want to uplift themselves and earn a higher paying job to $50,000 or more. The program is 12 weeks long, and not only will it help you with finding that higher paying job, but it's meant to go into your subconscious a little bit and transform you so you feel a lot more confident, much more social, and much more able to attract that higher paying job with joy. If you're interested, click on my Instagram below and send me the DM career to set up a free complimentary call on how we can plan your life for a brighter future. And there's no purchase or anything necessary for this call. Thank you so much. So the last tips I want to give is that one, I graduated school and I did have an internship under my belt when I finished, but there were a few months where I was unemployed and I was classified as unemployed. So I was unsure of how I can phrase that or word that so that it seems positive. And so what I came up with is think of it as a positive spin. For me, it was an employment gap. And what I told employers and myself was that I was taking the time off necessary to rejuvenate, to discover myself, and to take care of or spend time with family members before I headed off into the working world. And the last tip I want to give off is make sure you have fun on your way towards making that $60,000 salary. Looking back, I realized that I probably did not have to go for my second bachelor's to get to where I wanted to. I just wanted to make some income and build up on that. And so if you do want to go from $10 to $15 to $20 and then build your way up, that is totally an option as well. And I had a $16 per hour tutoring job at the time. That was a lot of fun, but I opted out of that because of my degree. However, I wish that I kept that job because it seemed so fun and it seemed like the fun way to getting to where I wanted to. I hope all these tips were very helpful to you. Again, if you liked this video, please like it so it can help other people. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.